Why is this platform important for these people, and why is it important for Morgan Stanley?
As you just said, the deals and the number of opportunities that are coming to these student athletes because of NIL, that's the reason why it's important. We've heard from a number of these athletes in our financial education sessions that there's two things. They want more deals and they want to get financial education. Certainly, we're not on the deal-making side in the NIL space, but we certainly can play in the space of financial education, and that's what we've been delivering. Even prior to NIL, this is what our business was built on, in the foundation of financial education. So that's why it's important, because student athletes are asking for it.
All right, so student athletes are asking not only for help with their finances, they're certainly commanding millions of dollars in various deals through their NIL, the ability to leverage their NIL. So let's talk about, is this platform just about managing money, or are there other aspects to it when we're talking about young people who all of a sudden have an influx of sometimes millions of dollars?
So when you think about it from the standpoint of financial education, yes, it's a part about managing money. There's budgeting, saving, and investing. But when you look at NIL and even social media influencers, it's about the do's and don'ts, reading contracts, understanding taxes. It's all of that in the ecosystem of focusing on financial education. So for us, we wanted to make sure that we address the needs that the student athletes were telling us about. There's a whole host of things about NIL and even influencers and creators that are on the same length of a sports and entertainment type of client. When you think about they're using their name, image, and likeness as well.
Mm-hmm. Sandra, I can well imagine that so many of these young individuals who are some of them in high school, some of them early in college, could be really vulnerable to bad advice, to theft or fraud or whatever, and that this education is a big part of addressing that sort of knowledge gap. So I want you to talk about that. But how much of this is about education, and how much, if any, of it is about attracting assets to Morgan Stanley? In other words, do you hope to manage some of the money that is coming into the hands of these young influencers, athletes, entertainers?
So yes and yes. And so, but when you think about it, financial education is really the foundation and the forefront. And part of what we also talk about is thinking of yourself as a business. Like, you are the CEO of you, so you have to build your team. So it's the financial advisors, depending on what industry you're in, the business manager, the accountant, the attorneys, and the like, all have to play towards your vision. So yes, having a team is really important for these student athletes and these new up-and-coming creators. And the one thing that I would also like to share about NIL, what it has allowed is not only for them to be able to make money, but then they're able to engage professionals like financial advisors, accountants, and agents without jeopardizing eligibility. So that's really the beauty that came out of NIL. Yes, the money is great, but also the representation is even greater. And look, at the end of the day, it's our responsibility to help these young people, because they're going to be our next generation of leaders. These are going to be the next generation of people that are going to entertain us. And would it be something where we would love for them to be clients? Absolutely. But our focus really right now is focusing on the financial education piece.
All right, we want to welcome Larry Fitzgerald, NFL great wide receiver, University of Pittsburgh graduate, where I went to school as well. Larry, thank you for joining us.
I was glad to be here. All
right, so you joined the conversation in progress. We want to talk to you because you had the experience of being a young person who all of a sudden, pretty much overnight, had millions of dollars. What are some of these NIL athletes, entertainers, social influencers? What are they facing when they have this big influx of cash?
Well, I think it's very difficult when you're that age and you're trying to, kind of build your career, but also try to manage your capital. It's coming in very quickly from a lot of different places, from marketing, from athletics, shoe deals, so many different places. And you want to just make sure that you have a great infrastructure and a team around you that can help support you, from tax structure. You have to pay, commission to agents and all of these things that you have to understand and that you're not really equipped to deal with at 20 years old or even younger with some of these NIL deals. And I think that's the biggest thing you want to be able to help educate the young players on, so they can make sure that they can focus on what they really love doing, and that's playing ball.